Guys, my name is Phương Anh, and today I'm going to read for you this book. No, not actually all of it, but maybe one chapter. Teddy Robinson Stories. Let's start it right now. This is the contents and forward. Forward is nothing to do with forward. So let's start at the first chapter. Teddy Robinson's Night Out. Teddy Robinson was a nice, big, comfortable, friendly teddy bear. He had light brown fur and kind brown eyes, and he belonged to a little girl called Deborah. He was Deborah's favorite teddy bear, and Deborah was Teddy Robinson's favorite little girl. So, they got on well, very, very well together, and wherever one of them went, the other one usually went too. One Saturday afternoon, Teddy Robinson and Deborah looked out of the window and saw that the sun was shining and the almond tree in the garden was covered with pink blossom. "That's nice," said Deborah. "We can play out there. We'll make our house under the pink tree, and you can get brown in the sun, Teddy Robinson." So she took out a little tray with a doll's tea set on it, and a blanket to sit on, and the toy telephone in case anyone rang them up. And she laid all the things out on the grass under the tree. Then she fetched a coloring book and some chalk for herself, and a book of nursery rhythms for Henry Robinson. Deborah lay on her tummy and colored the hull of an elephant and harps a Noah's Ark, and Teddy Robinson stared hard at a picture of Humpty Dumpty and tried to remember the words. He couldn't really read, but he loved pretending to. "Hump, hump, hump, humpety hump," he said to himself over and over again, and then hump, 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 humpety hump. Deborah's drawing an elephant. "Oh, Teddy Robinson," said Deborah, "don't think so loud. I can't hear myself choking." Then, seeing him still bending over his book, she said, "Poor boy, I expect you're tired. It's time for your rest now." And she laid him down flat on his back so that he could look up into the sky. At that moment, there was a loud rat-tat on the front door, and a long ring on the doorbell. Deborah jumped up and ran indoors to see who it could be, and Teddy Robinson lay back and began to count the number of blossoms he could see in the almond tree. He couldn't count more than 4 because he only had 2 arms and 2 legs to count on. So he counted up to 4 a great many times over, and he began counting backwards, the wrong way round, and any way round that he could think of. And sometimes he put words in between his counting, so that in the end it went something like this: 1, 2, 3, 4. Someone knocking at the door. 1, 2, 3, 4. Open the door and how do you do? 4, 2, 3, 1. Isn't it nice you lie in the sun? 1, 2, 4, 3. Underneath the almond tree. And he was quite happy, counting and singing to himself for quite a long time. Then Teddy Robinson noticed that the sun was going down and there were long shadows in the garden. It looked as if it must be getting near bedtime. "Deborah will come and fetch me soon," he thought. And he watched the birds flying home to their nests and in the trees above him. A blackbird flew quite close to him and whistled and chirped. "Good night, Teddy Bear." "Good night, bird," said Teddy Robinson, and waved an arm at him. Then a snail came crawling past. "Are you sleeping out tonight?" "That would be very nice for you," he said. Good night, Teddy Bear." "Good night, snail," said Teddy Robinson. And he watched it crawl slowly away into the long grass. "She will come and fetch me soon," he thought. It must be getting quite late. But Deborah didn't come and fetch him. Do you know why? She was fast asleep in bed. This is what happened. When she had run to see who was knocking at the front door. Deborah had found Uncle Michael standing on the doorstep. He had come in his new car, and he said there was just time to take her out for a ride if she came quickly, but she must hurry because he had to get into the town before tea time. There was only just time for Mommy to get Deborah's coat on and wave goodbye before they were off. They had come home ever so much later than they meant to because they had tea out in the shop. And then, on the way home, the new car had suddenly stopped, and it took Uncle Michael a long time to find out what was wrong with it. By the time they reached home, Deborah was half asleep, and Mommy had bundled her into bed before she had time to really wake up again and remember about Teddy Robinson still being in the garden. He didn't know all this, of course, but he guessed something unusual must happen to make Deborah forget about him. Soon a little wind blew across the garden, and down fluttered some blossom from the almond tree. It fell right in the middle of Teddy Robinson's tummy. "Thank you," he said. "I like pink flowers for a blanket." So the almond tree shook its branches again, and more blossoms came tumbling down. The garden tortoise came tramping slowly past. "Hello, Teddy Bear," he said. "Are you sleeping out? I hope you won't be cold. I felt a little breeze blowing up just now. I'm glad I've got my house with me. But I have a fur coat," said Teddy Robinson, "and pink blossom for a blanket." "So you have," said the tortoise. "That's lucky. Well, good night." And he drew his head into his shell and went to sleep close by. The next door kitten came padding softly through the grass and rubbed against him gently. "You are out late," she said. "Yes, I think I'm sleeping out tonight," said Teddy Robinson. "Are you?" said the kitten. "You'll love that. I did it once. I'm going to do it a lot oftener when I'm older. Perhaps I'll stay out tonight." But just then a window opened in the house next door, and a voice called, "Puss, puss, puss! Come and have your fish, fish, fish!" And the kitten scampered off as fast as she could go. Teddy Robinson heard the window shut down, and then everything was quiet again. The sky grew darker and darker blue, and soon the stars came out. Teddy Robinson lay and stared at them without blinking, and they twinkled and shone and winked at him as if they were surprised to see a teddy bear lying in the garden. And after a while, they began to sing to him a very soft and sweet and faraway little song to the tune of Rock-a-Bye Baby, and it went something like this: "Rock-a-bye Teddy, go to sleep soon. We will be watching, so will the moon. When you awake with the dew on your paws, down will come Debbie and take you indoors." Teddy Robinson thought that was a lovely song, so when it was finished, he sang one back to them. He sang it in a grunting voice because he was rather shy, and it went something like this: "This is me under the tree, the bravest bear you ever did see. All alone, so brave I've grown. I'm camping out on my every own." The stars nodded and winked and twinkled to show that they liked Teddy Robinson's song, and they sang Rock-a-Bye Teddy all over again, and he stared and stared at them until he fell asleep. Very early in the morning, a blackbird whistled, then another blackbird answered, and then all the birds in the garden opened their beaks and twittered and chirped and sang. When Teddy Robinson woke up, one of the blackbirds hopped up with a worm in his beak. "Good morning, Teddy Bear," he said. "Would you like a worm for your breakfast?" "Oh, no, thank you," said Teddy Robinson. "I don't usually bother about breakfast. Do it yourself." "Thank you, I will," said the blackbird, and he gobbled it up and hopped off to find some more. Then a snail came slipping past. "Good morning, Teddy Bear," he said. "Did you sleep well?" "Oh, yes, thank you," said Teddy Robinson. The next door kitten came scampering up, purring. "You lucky person," he said, and she rubbed against Teddy Robinson. "Your fur is damp, but it was a perfect night for staying up. I didn't want to miss my fish supper last night. Otherwise, I'd have stayed with you. Perhaps I will another night. Do you enjoy it?" "Oh, yes," said Teddy Robinson. "You were quite right about sleeping out. It was lovely." The tortoise poked his head out and blinked. "Hello," he said. "There's a lot of talking going on for so early in the morning. What is it all about?" "Oh, good morning, Bear. I'd forgotten you were here. I hope you had a comfortable night." And before Teddy Robinson could answer, he had popped back inside his shell. Then a moment later, Teddy Robinson heard a little shuffling noise in the grass behind him. And there was Deborah out in the garden with bare feet and in her pajamas. She picked him up and hugged him and kissed him and whispered to him very quietly, and then she ran through the grass and in the kitchen door and up the stairs into her own room. A minute later, she and Teddy Robinson were snuggled down in her warm little bed. "You poor, poor boy," she whispered as she stroked his damp fur. "I never meant to leave you out all night. Oh, you poor, poor boy." But Teddy Robinson whispered back, "I aren't a poor boy at all. I was camping out, and it was lovely." And then he tried to tell her all about the blackbird and the snail and the tortoise and the kitten and the stars. But because it was really so very early in the morning, and Deborah's bed was really so very warm and cozy, they both got drowsy, and before he had even got to the part about the stars singing their song to him, both Teddy Robinson and Deborah were fast asleep. And that's the end of the story about how Teddy Robinson stayed out all night. Chapter 2. Teddy Robinson goes to the toy shop. One day, Teddy Robinson and Deborah were going with Mommy to a big toy shop. Deborah had 10 shillings to spend. It had been sent to her at Christmas. "You must help me choose my present," Teddy Robinson said. "Deborah, it will be nice for you to see all the toys." "Yes," said Teddy Robinson. "You couldn't really manage without me. Shall I wear my best purple dress?" "No," said Deborah. "Your trousers would do. It isn't a party." When they got to the toy shop, there were so many things to look at that Deborah just couldn't make up her mind, and Teddy Robinson got quite tired of being pushed up against the counter and squashed against the ladies' shopping blankets. "Perhaps I'll have a glove puppet," said Deborah. "Then put me down for a bit," said Teddy Robinson. "I'm tired of being squashed, and I don't much care about glove puppets anyway." So Deborah sat Teddy down by a large doll's house, and he sang a little song to himself while he was waiting. This is what he said. "Seesaw, knock at the door, ask me in and shake my paw. How do you do? It's only me. It's 3:30, and I've come to tea." Teddy Robinson peeped through one of the upper windows of the doll's house. A tiny little doll inside was sitting at a tiny little dressing table. When she saw Teddy Robinson's big furry face looking in at the window, she gave a tiny little scream. Then she said, in a tiny little very cross voice, "How dare you stare in at my window? How very rude of you." "I'm so sorry," said Teddy Robinson politely. "I had no idea you were there. I was just looking to see if the windows